welcome back to the Horror with Marchese and Buller show with Willie Marchese and Gary Buller.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about phobias, but before we go on, I want everybody to know obvious phobias like abductions of loved ones and family and friends and stuff like that. Everybody has that kind of phobia. I'm talking about phobias of like...
Almost like irrational fears, isn't it?
Yeah, like claustrophobia, like Gary, he was saying, I had that. Fear of heights, where in New York it's, in my building, everything is just height, and I don't like it. Things like that, like arachnophobia. I don't have a fear of spiders, but if they're too close or they're moving around or too many of them, I've had a few dreams where there was a lot of spiders around and it was kind of freaky, hanging off webs and they get in your face and you can't get them out of your face. Things like that.
Yeah, my number one phobia has to be claustrophobia. I don't like being restricted. I don't even know if it is claustrophobia, to be honest, because I'm okay in lifts and things like that. But the idea of being trapped, say, underground or being buried alive or being...
they made a movie like that.
Yeah, the one with Ryan Reynolds. I watched that. Or being trapped in a pipe or, being in a very, very enclosed space where you're restricted.
Like the catacombs.
Where you can't move. Yeah. Where you just can't move, you're physically held, that just thinking about it makes hair on the back of my neck sort of stand on end, I really don't like it. So yeah, that's my number one phobia. Another one I had was things like underwater that you can't see, like sharks and sea snakes and alligators and crocodiles and things like that. Tried to conquer the fear. I have swum with sharks. For my 30th birthday, which is 6 years ago now, Lisa bought me an experience at the local Blue Planet Aquarium, massive aquarium, to get in there with tiger sharks and lemon sharks.
Lemon?
Yeah, I think they're called lemon sharks and nurse sharks. 6, 7, 8, 9 foot long sharks, massive things. It was really cool actually. I was really lucky because you're meant to go down in sort of twos, and the woman who was supposed to be going down into the depths with me suffered, the compression got to her head, when she went under the water and she couldn't do it. So I literally it was just me and a guide sort of walking along the floor of this massive aquarium, and there's like loads of these sharks just sort of swimming by, and there was guys sort of stood off with like little harpoon guns, just for safety, and it was quite funny. We had a bit of a meeting before we went into the water. There's a small group of us. One of the guys said, well, clearly they're not dangerous, otherwise you won't let us swim with them, and she's like, well, no, to be honest, they're man-eaters, she said, don't make any mistake about that, it's just we keep them well fed. There's no reason for them to attack you, but, given the opportunity, they probably would.
Yeah, or if they, gets out.
Yeah. So it was a brilliant experience, but at the same time, very scary, and I've got loads of pictures on Facebook and stuff. I could try and send you a couple to put on with the show notes or whatever, of me underwater with the sharks. I've got one, literally I was in the water and I saw something out of my periphery and it turned out the shark was just like there. They sort of swimming past me, and
wow.
Lisa got a photograph of it, and it was like, bloody hell, it's like that was close.
Yeah.
I could see its teeth and everything,
You saw that movie, 40
feet below.
Yeah.
Is it 40 feet? 40, it's either 40 feet or 40 metres.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't like going into the ocean. My father gave me a fear when I was younger about sharks, but and plus you can't really, in New York, you can't see under the water. It's like so murky, but when I go to Puerto Rico, surprisingly, I got in there like nothing because you can see your feet underneath the water. It's very clear.
The right thing, man. Living in New York, you must get it all the time. I went to Paris once, and there was like a very tall building. I think it was the tallest building in France. And I remember going in there, and the lift going up was one of these glass bottom things, and it was like, oh my god, I could feel my stomach lurching. And then another one was there was like a bit of a walkway which was glass bottomed as well, and I was just that irrational thing you got,
I would never
where you think about jumping.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine that irrational thing you want to jump? It's weird.
I feel like I'm going to pass out and fall. That's what I feel like. I'm going to lose balance. It's not that I'm afraid of it, it's that I'm afraid of what might happen to myself. And like if I was Iron Man...
Have you ever gone to the top of like the Empire State or the World Trade Center when that was around? No.
and I won't go to
No.
the top of the new one either. The old one you actually felt it swaying towards the top of it because it's built like that. I was in a couple of buildings where I was sitting in reception, and it's very quiet, and all of a sudden you hear, like that's when it's really windy out, and I was like, no, that's not cool. And I wasn't even on the highest floors.
Apparently in Japan it's the same in Tokyo. You know, the buildings are all built to sway, because you get earthquakes as well. You know, we don't get many earthquakes in England at all. But do you get many earthquakes over there?
Not really earthquakes. Also maybe tornadoes or wind. You know, things like that, hurricanes and stuff like that. They build it so it's hurricane proof, but. You know, there's also, you know, the fear of everything that's going on in the news, a lot of these natural disasters. I saw this YouTube video where the guy was like, as much as you hear about all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'm not saying that there isn't crazy stuff, there's very crazy stuff going on. You know, if you think about it, it's really not, it's a very small percentage of things that are happening that are bad. It's just that the news is focusing in on it. So you're going to listen to the news and you hear, this one got murdered, and that one got murdered, and that one got murdered. And that's maybe like 5 murders out of billions of people in the world. I mean, I know it's going on all over the place, and bad things happen a lot, but it's the news plays another role in making people worry.
Yeah, that sort of ties in the 3 episodes we've done this week, the positive thinking thing and the phobia, you know, and the vice thing as well, I suppose, to an extent. It's, you could choose to watch the news and be afraid by it, you know, be cowed by it, because news outlets, you know, do sell sensationalism, because that's what gets you views, likes and comments and things like that, and this is what gets people watching sensational news. There's a lot of good as well going on in the world. I mean, you know, if you take out politics and all the sort of stuff that's going over here with Brexit and things like that, and I'm sick of hearing about Brexit. I really am. No matter what side, if you voted Remain or Leave, we've both been screwed over. You know, it don't matter what side you voted for. The politicians have handled it very, very, very badly. And you know, it's a bit up in the air. But you could be all doom and gloom about that. You could think negatively about it. But I try and stay positive about it. I know that there was a shooting in New Zealand and stuff, and it was terrible and stuff, but I try not to let it affect me, you know, in that sort of way. But it must be terrible for the people. It's hard to not to empathise when something like that happens.
Stay home, read, write, play video games, don't go outside, order from Amazon, and everything will be okay.
And drink beer. Drink lots of beer or Zevia. Well, beer or Zevia.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
It's all with Marchese and Paul. It's all with Marchese and Paul.
Like G. Simmons there. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go swirl over there. Bloody hell.
My...
You
take a bite out of it?
No, I took a bite out of them. No, and don't forget to stick your finger up your...
I was waiting for that. Sometimes I think, you know, what would I do if I jumped out the window but then what do I do if it doesn't work? You know, then boom, you know, or like Spider-Man. So Spider-Man and Iron Man, those are the two I always think about when I'm in New York City.
Have you ever gone to the top of like the Empire State or? And the guide was going,
Wait. You're cutting out. You're cutting out.
The guide was
going,
like,
"Ooh."
all right. The
Okay,
guide,
um, I'll say. It's horror. Oh, shit. Oh my god. Oh. Gary. I can't take that out. I'm just gonna put a thing right over your face and just block the whole thing out.
Marchese hamburger. It's no secret we're close. Sweaty belt.